YouTube is full of videos about good knives. It's full of videos about bad knives. It's high time that someone makes a video about weird knives. This is 3 Weird Knives, and I'm your host, JJJinks!
Let's get weird.
My apologies for this belated episode. I normally load these up every Friday, but this past week we kind of had a hurricane blow through and I lost power. We had to clean out the fridge. It was a busy time. So I'm going to make up for it with a 5-knife special. So a lot of people on YouTube do the wish.com thing where they type in a random word into Wish and buy whatever weird cheap thing that comes up. And that's what I did, but with a twist. I took the random word and added the word knife. Let's just jump right into it. The first random word was bet. Bet knife. And here's what I got. It's a little keychain sword. I don't know what it's made out of, didn't say, but it's got a lot of peculiar markings on the blade with what looks like a goat skull by the hilt and some crazy looking spiky things for the guard. And for those video game aficionados out there, you might recognize this sword as Frostmourne, wielded by Arthas after he was turned into the Lich King by Kel'Thuzad in the video game World of Warcraft. And actually a lot of those events happened in Warcraft 3, but who keeps track anymore? I haven't played World of Warcraft in like 4 years, and I think I'm a better man for it. So this is what happens when you type in bet knife on wish.com. The next word was understanding. Understanding knife. And here's what I got. It's a fidget spinner. And it's a knife. This combination is excellent. I love the danger, the daring. Do you spin it with the blade open? Will you cut yourself or hit the dull side? It's like Russian roulette, but with knives. A couple of interesting things about this knife are on the spinner part, you got this letter M, and on the spacer, you have letters CM and numbers 76. Now, the CM stands for the company that made this knife, which is Chongming. It's Chinese. And I love the colors on this knife. Look at this thing. You have this kind of rotary looking thing that kind of looks like a film reel at the top here where the pivot screw is. And the blade has kind of a neat sort of a window looking pattern, or maybe a sail, something like that. But look at the coloration. I love how it fades from that light blue through to the purple down to that pinkish red, and you get the same kind of color theme going on the handle. It kind of reminds me of like New Orleans colors, or maybe just vaporwave in general colors, and you get a little bit of teal going on right around the pivot screw. Another interesting thing about this is another neat thing about this knife is that it's actually technically a slip joint, just with a very heavy detent. That's a nice click. And it clicks when opened as well. But there's no lock. It's simply a slip joint with a very strong detent. So if you ever get to Mardi Gras again, you can bring this knife, and it should be okay. Maybe you'll get a girl to show you her boobs for it. The next word was point. Point knife. And what I got was this cylinder thing. I think it's made out of aluminum, and it's anodized orange. I think I had a bunch of colors to choose from, like a silvery color, a blue color. I went with the orange, and you get a little key ring at the bottom. And this is, I believe, what they call a kubaton, wielded by mall ninjas the world over. And at the top here, you got this really, really pointy glass breaker, and you unscrew it to reveal the blade, hidden inside the handle of the kubaton. And then it's got threads over here by the glass maker, so you can thread it back on, and you have yourself a nice little letter opener, I suppose. Actually, it is not that dull. They ground quite an edge onto something that is ostensibly just a novelty item. And it is a full dagger grind. It is sharp on both sides, which technically makes it illegal in New Jersey, but who's going to carry this thing? And the only other interesting quirk is that the blade itself is threaded onto this piece. So you can screw this blade into other things if you wanted to. And that's what you get when you search the word point knife. The next word was primary. Primary knife. And I got this. This is kind of a slimmed down, minimalist sort of knife that's, I guess, meant to be part of a keychain because they got a little ring right here. To get the blade to open, you got a thumb nick, but really it's just kind of easier if you swing it all out just like that. And it sort of locks into place up here with this funky looking mechanism. So it's basically a slip joint with a really rough grind on this. Look at the tool marks. They did not do a very good job smoothing that down, but what can you expect? It was like $3. Not very sharp. It's got a bottle opener, cap lifter thing, and it's got one of those slotted tool sets sort of deals where you're supposed to be able to use it to work on hex screws, but look at the gradation from each size to the next. That's pretty small. I don't think this would work very well. And that's what you get for your primary knife. The last word was domination. Domination knife. Your expectations should be high because here's what I got. It's a little teeny tiny cleaver made into a necklace, and it's got that titanium anodization to give it a nice blue, yellow, green, purpley kind of finish. It's not sharp, it's just decorative. They've even got the little hole at the top where you're supposed to use that to hang it on your wall after you're done chopping a steak or whatever. I was really happy when I saw this because I love how tiny it is, and it's jewelry basically for the knife enthusiast that is also into fashion. I suppose I could sharpen the edge and try to cut a little teeny tiny steak. So there we have it. Bet knife, understand knife, point knife, primary knife, and for your inner submissive, domination knife.